Valentino is with his wife, and they are awaiting the arrival of baby D. Valentino. Which and you are in for an incredible treat tonight. We have 7 of the finest jazz bands you will ever hear anywhere, all here on the stage tonight, and we have a wonderful guest soloist, and you're just going to have a thrilling night, and I'm so glad you're all here. A couple housekeeping things. Number one, we are recording for North Penn Television, so please turn off all cell phones, etc. Restrooms are right out the back door, straight back to your left, heading towards the cafeteria. Also, if you need to go in and out, please just wait between numbers if you could. And we encourage everybody to stay for the entire evening. We just have an incredible night for you. It's going to go very rapidly, but we're real excited to get started. This is Pembroke Middle School, your host for the evening, and we're going to begin with a Mark Taylor composition entitled Granada Smoothie. Thank you very much. And now it gives me great pleasure to bring out our guest soloist for the evening on saxophone, Mr. Andrew Dew. is, and we'll do this kind of throughout the evening, get to know our soloists a little bit better. For those of you wondering, yes, we are related. You'll let you figure out which one of us is the older brother.
Seriously?
Yeah. So, anyway, you like the plant?
I love the plant. I feel like I'm on a talk show.
I found the plant backstage. I'm not sure if it's supposed to look that way or if it's dead. We got a plant.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to talk throughout the night about the kind of things you're doing now, and but I want to go backwards in time. We have a lot of students out here, so we want to kind of know what were the things that you were doing, elementary, middle school, high school, musically, because you had a kind of an interesting path to the saxophone. So let's talk about some of the things you did early on and what led you to where you are now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the first and foremost, I am a product of a public music school education. You know, I was very much, and you are in one of the best places in the country for music education here in the North Penn School District. So, and I'm very proud to be here tonight. And also let you know that, you know, you can, if you have goals, if you have musical goals, this is certainly a great place to be setting the foundation for that. And I'd like to think that I'm living proof of that you can learn to play music and actually have a successful career at it. Certainly at this age, and I go back to when I first started playing music. I guess we go really way back. I was the drummer in our family band. Yes, we used to put on concerts in our living room here, and I was the drummer. I guess because you didn't need to know how to read music at that time. But it was a very musical family. Clearly, you know, my brother, my big brother, I need to clarify that. My big brother was the trumpet player in the band. We have a sister in between who is also a flute player and a terrific singer and also a piano player. And that's, I think, the important thing about musicians, and anyone who aspires to be a musician should know to take some time and sit down at the piano, learn how to play the piano. I didn't take piano lessons until I was, I guess, in about 8th, 9th, 10th grade, around then, but we always had the piano in the house. My sister and our mom actually took piano lessons too. I seem to remember about that. But 4th grade is when the time that was my first opportunity to take music lessons in the school. And I remember very specifically my teacher was a trumpet player, Steve Leonard, who eventually went on to teach at various schools around the area, actually.
Upper Moreland, I work in Upper Moreland. His son's actually working in the Faculty School District now, too.
Fabulous here. I know I actually went on to work with him. I got to know him as a kid in 4th grade playing lessons with him, and then, you know, years later we actually worked together at Plymouth Whitewash. So when I was still in college, actually, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I wanted to be, you know, when our parents asked, hey, what instrument do you want to play? And I said, I want to play the trumpet. Well, we already had a trumpet player in the family, and apparently there were certain instruments that were off limits, as I remember, actually, because maybe they were too loud.
Drums was one of them.
I was already playing the drums.
I guess you
I had a foundation in that. So I ended up deciding to start on clarinet, and because I think saxophone was also on that do not play list. Which is actually, if you think about it, actually, you may not realize this, but back in, up until, I guess, the mid-70s or even into the 80s, you couldn't even major in music school on saxophone. And a lot of the saxophonists that I knew that were sort of the generation that came out of college, I guess sometime, you know, up until the mid-70s, they had to be clarinet majors in college. And what I found, actually, as a clarinet player, it gave me an amazing foundation for playing saxophone and really all the woodwind instruments, as I'm kind of going on to doing right now. So I played clarinet in the band, and we even had a jazz band in the middle school. But then when we changed middle schools, they decided they weren't using clarinets in the jazz band anymore. And I knew I wanted to play in the jazz band. So I thought, how hard could it be? So I actually was able again, the school provided me with a tenor saxophone over the summertime, and I took lessons. And sure enough, in the fall, I started up playing with the jazz band.
And we're going to pick up that story just after we hear our next band.
Awesome.
So we're up to what, middle school now?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah.
You're in the story of your life.
We're up to middle school now. We got all night. We got a ways to go.
We're here all night. And up next, the North Penn Elementary Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Malachowski.
We're going to feature a couple additional soloists on Flat Tire Shuffle. It will also feature Rachel McCluskey on sax, and Ethan Leibiger on tenor sax.
We were talking about some of Andrew's early experiences in music in grade school, and we got our way all the way up to middle school. And we're going to pick up right where we left off. So in middle school, you started to play in the jazz band, you played tenor saxophone.
I did play tenor saxophone. Yeah, I was basically a tenor saxophone player for most of my career playing in high school, and it wasn't until I got into high school that I actually started. I guess my senior year in high school is when I kind of made somewhat of a temporary switch over to alto saxophone, and that's when I actually bought my first really good professional level instrument. Actually, my first. No, I guess I had a clarinet. I had a Bundy clarinet, but. No, my first real professional instrument was a Summer Mark 6 alto saxophone. It's still one of my most treasured possessions, actually.
Now, in high school, you played some other things as well.
I did. I went to a small high school. I graduated from Haverhill Horsham, which is kind of right down the road here. And I guess they were always looking for people to fill out parts and all that. I mean, and I was the accompanist for the choir. I remember the concert choir. I accompanied for them. And I also, we had a marching band there, just as you do here, and of course it's all about brass instruments. And as you know, I always wanted to play the trumpet. So it was there that I guess I came across an old trumpet in our house that I suppose was yours. It was a great instrument, and I just picked it up with really very little instruction, and I started playing trumpet, and eventually French horn too, actually, the marching French horn. Well, it was a B flat. It was a B flat marching French horn. It was not a melody, as I was told. And I'm sure I had a lot of bad habits, which I actually I continued to play trumpet into college and played marching at Temple University. But it was at that point that I actually kind of stopped playing for a minute. When I restarted, that's when I actually started to do it correctly, actually. But what I found by playing all these different instruments, it really gave me a lot of insight into how all the instruments function and really what their role is in the ensemble. So it helped me both as an educator and a conductor standing in front of big bands like this, but also as an arranger and a composer too. So I think any good composer is going to really have an understanding of all the instruments that they're writing for.
Absolutely. Good. It looks like we're just about set with our next band, so we'll come back to you in a little bit. And next up onto the square, the Gwinnett Square Inglewood Jazz Band. We're going to do an incredible composition by those big band writers, Lennon and McCartney. They don't normally write for big band, but this is a very, very cool arrangement of Eleanor Rigby. This is the North Penn High School Columbia Jazz Band, and we're going to again feature Andrew New, this time on tenor sax. And choreographer Mr. John Josie will take over. So we talked a little bit about what you were doing when you were younger. Can you tell us kind of some of the things you've been doing more recently, professionally? You've been on tour a lot and quite a number of things going on. So tell us a rundown of what you've been doing recently.
Well, I've been very fortunate to make a living as a full-time musician, and I do some teaching by choice because it's something that I've always been passionate about. I enjoy doing it, and I continue to do that. But my main focus right now over the last few years has been really being a full-time musician, and it's a rare thing in these days, particularly here in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a great music town. As we know, there's a great history of fabulous music here that goes back, really, really into the 1800s when the beginning of the Philadelphia Orchestra and going through the sound of Philadelphia and people like John Coltrane, Grover Washington Jr., and of course in recent years we have a whole neo-soul movement. Some really amazing things, and actually a lot of great new clubs have been opening too, and a lot of great new performance venues. But, and I've been working in Philadelphia my entire professional career. And I've been very, very fortunate to play with really most of the groups that I really set out to play with. I was a member of Peter Nero and the Philly Pops for about 15 years, and in recent years I've actually been able to sub with the Philadelphia Orchestra now too, and occasionally when they do some more commercial things, so they bring in saxophones.
And you tell us about the Pixar films thing that you did with them.
I've done that a couple of times. If you're familiar with the Pixar movies, and I don't know how you could not be, that would be things like Finding Nemo and The Incredibles, all the Toy Story movies. All the movies that were put out by the Pixar studios, they had fabulous soundtracks with them. Michael Giacchino, I guess some of the other ones. Well, now they're escaping here. But basically, what we would do is we would play the suites of the music from each of these movies, and they would be about maybe 7-8 minutes or so, and then they would show clips of the movies on a giant screen behind the orchestra. So I've done this both at the Kimmel Center and then also up in Saratoga, which is the summer home of the Philadelphia Orchestra. And fortunately, Gordon Goodwin, who was a really terrific big band jazz composer, he actually won a Grammy for his arrangement of the end credits to The Incredibles, which is ironically known as the end credits. So, the nice thing about that, Randy Newman was the other one I was thinking of, yeah. But yeah, so there was some nice jazz solos in that I was able to play, and then also, yeah, Randy Newman wrote, I guess it was You Got a Friend in Me, was the whole last piece, it was the encore of the whole concert, was actually an entire tenor sax feature, which was really terrific to play with the Philadelphia Orchestra, a 100-piece orchestra.
Very, very cool. All right, we'll come back and hit some more in just a few minutes here. Looks like we've got Penfield Middle School up. So let's give a big round of applause to Mr. David Orhowski and the Penfield Middle School.
This next tune, it originally has been featuring two trombones. You've already heard them soloing, Katie and Gabby, but we're going to make it a front line of 4. And we're going to have 2 tenors, 2 trombones on this. And for anyone that knows some older jazz from like the 60s, it's reminiscent of the Maynard Ferguson Message from Newport recordings from a long time ago. So I'm going to take a moment to get them set up for this. Fast forward.
This is the Penndale Jazz Ensemble. We're going to start our performance with Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. We're going to bring out Mr. Andrew New for the first tune. We've got an awesome chance here for our soloist, Rachel Rosenblatt, and for him to trade on the head of the tune and get some solos going. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
that Johnny Carson, man.
That's right.
Did you catch him last night?
That's right. I'm doing counseling here or something. Nurse. So, obviously you're a recording artist as well. It's another way that you spend your career. Tell us about that part of your career, the CDs that you've been doing, the projects you're involved in.
Well, you know what? I became a recording artist simply because I actually became a composer first, and I found myself writing these pieces, and it just wasn't really appropriate for me to be bringing them into other people's bands, other people's gigs, and that was my first impetus for actually starting my own band, and then not long after that, it really led to my first recording, which came out in 2000. That's Inspire, and followed by In Clearview in 2007. Try Something New. Get it? Try Something New. That was in 2009, and then most recently, Everything Happens for a Reason in 2013. And that's actually that was a big record for me. I got full string orchestra on there, and I've actually since been able to perform some of those orchestral arrangements with the Reading Pops and the Ocean City Pops, and did a transcription of it with the Montgomery County concert band, actually. So that's actually been segueing into a nice solo career there too. But later in the spring out in Los Angeles, I actually have a big band, much like what you see up here on stage here, that I've been rehearsing with for a number of years, and we're actually finally taking that band into the studio. So I'm very excited about that. My next recording will be an actual, true big band jazz recording.
Fantastic. What studios do you use to do the recording? Local ones here, or do you find yourself elsewhere?
Most of my recordings, especially my last 3 records, I've actually recorded in Los Angeles. So I've been very fortunate to work with a great bass player named Brian Bromberg, who's actually been the producer of my last 3 CDs, and he's really a world-class bassist. I've been able to bring in people like Rick Ron and Tom Schumann from Spyro Gyra, Dave Weckl and Vinnie Colaiuta, who are 2 drum legends. Jeff Lorber. So really pretty heavyweight people in the jazz industry. So I've been very lucky to be able to meet people like that. And then also some of the artists that I've been working with as a sideman. Now, a sideman is a term that we use as musicians when we're working for somebody else. So we're not always going to be our own leader. So as a sideman, I found myself working with some really tremendous artists. And I was on the road for a little bit with Smokey Robinson. I still go out with him from time to time. A terrific Grammy Award-winning jazz singer named Diane Shore. I toured with her for about a year, and most recently, and over the last few years, my main gig has been with a singer named Bobby Caldwell, who may or may not be a household name, but you certainly heard his music. He had a great hit that was called What You Won't Do for Love. It's been covered and sampled by over 100 artists at this point, and so I've been fortunate to record on his last few records, and he's actually recorded on my last couple of records too. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to continue doing what I love in the music business. A lot of times people ask me, what would I be doing if I wasn't playing music? And really the truth is I don't have any other skills. This is all I'm good at, so I figure I gotta run with it.
Well, and clearly he is quite exceptional at it. Andrew New.
These guys are gonna run themselves, right? They're running themselves.
So I know that the other Mr. New addressed this at the beginning of the night, but for those who haven't arrived, this band is running itself. Now that's because it's trained to do it that way, but secondly, as many of us know, David Valentino and his wife Lauren are any moment now, since early this morning, waiting for the arrival of their first child, and so it's an exciting day for them, and we're looking forward to hearing about a little deval in the world, as we say. So that's going to be really exciting. The other thing we celebrate in April is Jazz in the Schools Month, and what a great way to do that other than what we're doing here this evening, a season in which we see jazz bands from elementary up through our high school students and all the exceptional work being done, and there's great music happening, and yes, there's the effort of staff and all these directors, we know that, but ultimately it's the students we see and the support and the recognition of parents who know how important music is in the lives of children. So keep it going, because we are very fortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the Navy Jazz Band. Give them a hand.
Nice round of applause for guest conductor Carl Hamilton. Well done. And we're going to bring out Andrew New for one more tune. This is a very cool arrangement of Caravan. Lars Hall is a drummer. He's from the University of the Arts, originally from in the Philadelphia area. I think he's living on the West Coast now, like San Francisco, but wrote this chart when he had a big band out here in Philadelphia, and it's a really cool arrangement of the Duke Ellington tune, Caravan.
I just want to take one moment just to thank all the folks here at the North Penn School District, particularly the North Penn Jazz Department, which really is huge considering there were 6 bands here tonight. Is that right? 7 bands? Oh my goodness, I lost count. And it's really an amazing treasure that you have here. This is one of the best school districts for music education, so you should be very, very proud of your teachers, and parents be very proud of your students. What you've seen on stage is not necessarily happening everywhere else in the world and in the country, so you're very, very fortunate to have this treasure here. So, and this is actually one of the best high school bands that I've ever heard, absolutely. Really, really amazing. I rehearsed with them last week, and they put this chart in front of me, and I'm glad I had a copy to take home with me because I was practicing this one. Very, very difficult chart here, and I'm very pleased to be able to kind of wrap up the show here with the guys here. And I also like to implore you to support the music, not just what you're doing here and seeing live concerts. Every time you have the opportunity to see live music, please embrace it and go see it. Our role here as music educators is not to create necessarily professional musicians, but people that go to concerts and people that support live music and professional musicians. I do have CDs for sale. This is the state of the business now. As you can see, there are no longer record stores. You remember Tower Records? They're gone. Although they are still in Japan. They actually still have the big stores in Japan, which is exciting to see. But this has become the point of sale now, and we implore you to please support the music. I'm very proud of the work that I've done on my CDs, and I'd be more than happy to meet you in the lobby, say hello, hear your story. Not your whole story, but and I'd be happy to sign anything you like there. So please enjoy this last arrangement. I think you guys are going to wrap it up with one more after this too, right? Something like that. These guys are on remote control. They know exactly what they're doing. Thank you, folks.
Northern High School Navy Jazz Ensemble. And we do guest soloist for the saxophone. Okay, we're going to send Andrew out to the lobby, and as